This video is going to show you the sharing interface in CrushFTP. The sharing interface is a feature of the web interface that lets you take files that are in the web interface, right-click on them, and share them with other people via email. The file isn't actually sent with email, but a temporary link is generated to the file that's then given to the user via email. The link can self-expire after X number of days so that the files are automatically cleaned up or the temporary account is automatically cleaned up. The sharing permission is just a setting on any other folder that's in the virtual file system. So I have a folder here called Yes Share, and I have the Share Publish permission enabled on it. So in the web interface here, I'm going to take these three files, right-click on them, and say Share. This will pop open a new window where you can fill in the information needed to share the files. I'm going to share them from myself to myself. There's some information here in the body that will get pre-filled when the email is actually sent, such as when it expires, and a link for the user to click on to come get these files. The files are listed that are being sent, and there's going to be a thumbnail attached to these files if a thumbnail is available. There's also some advanced options where you can use a shortcut or alias to these files, or you can actually move the files into the temporary storage so that when these files have expired, they will actually get cleaned up and deleted as well. Right now, just the reference to the file will get deleted and the original files will still be intact. So I'm going to leave it as is there. If you're sharing a folder, you could also grant the user that you're sharing full access to that folder where they can upload files, delete files, rename files, just giving them temporary access to a location where they could send you a file, you can then retrieve it, and then it'll clean up itself automatically after the expiration time. I'm just going to share these three files, so I'm going to hit send here. And it's generated a temporary username and a temporary password, and it's given me the URL that I can use to be able to get to it. The user has also received a copy of this with email so that they can click it as well. Now, an important thing to remember about sharing is that the URL that it uses is the URL that you used to get to the web interface. So if you're using this on your local area network and you're using, an internal IP address, you need to be careful about that, because if you go to share, the user is going to get that information and it won't work for them. You need to use the same URL that your end user is going to be using to come into your server to get the files. I'm just going to copy this right now because I want to show you a couple other things before we actually go take a look at the files I've shared. You can also manage the items that you've shared, and in the button bar up here I have a button called Manage Shares. This will bring up a list of different shares that I've done, and when you click on it, see, this is the most recent one here, you can see information about the share, who it was shared to, the body of the email that was sent, the different files that were shared, the temporary username and password, if it was attached. It gives you all the information about the share. And if you wanted to delete one, like I could take an older one here and say, let's delete this one, and now that account has been deleted. I can delete this one too, and that one's gone too. So it allows complete management over the temporary shares that are being done, all from the web interface by the end user. So let's go to that address that was sent to us via email, and I have a copy of what a sample email looks like here. I'll show you. So you can see that the images were attached in the email, just as the small thumbnails, and that the user has a link that they can click to be able to get to them, and it tells them when the share is going to expire. So here's this sharing interface of what the end user is going to see when they log in. They have the files that you shared to them. They can click on them. They can download them. That's the sharing interface.